everyone, it's Mary, and welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new, thank you so much for following. I've gotten a lot of new followers since the last video I posted. And for those of you who are new, I really only update here like once a month because sometimes I feel like I don't have anything to say. I think that for the new year, I would like to be more intentional with my posting. But if you don't already follow me other places, I also have a Substack, which I do update weekly, which goes into more detail. So I wanted to pop in today, give you guys my monthly update. And if you do follow me on Substack, some of this you may already know because I've already talked about. And for those of you who don't, this will hopefully be new information for you. But this is just kind of my monthly update of how I'm doing, how things are going with the Mounjaro, where I'm at with the weight loss journey, and then just anything else that I want to cover that's kind of health and wellness related. So I'm going to start off with what most of you are here for, and that is my Mounjaro update. Now, I am still on Mounjaro 10.0, but there are two big things I want to talk through today. And the first one is vision problems that I'm having and the side effects, and then also going to talk about where I'm at with my weight. So starting off strong with vision problems. Now I know I noticed this earlier when I first started. I mentioned it to you guys on the last video, and if you follow me on Substack, I talked about it several times on my Substack. But I have noticed first and foremost that 10.0, the side effects have hit me pretty hard, which I hate to even admit, but they have. The worst one by far has been the constipation. I've had constipation all along, but usually my constipation was pretty easy to handle, right? Take a daily stool softener or a couple times per week, I would pop in like one Mago 7 just to get going, making sure I'm eating fiber, different things, and I would keep myself going. But first couple weeks on 10.0, and not to be graphic here, but it was like pooping rocks. I mean, was getting the nausea and the stomach ache and all that kind of stuff. It really wasn't related to the medication as much as it was related to the fact that I was constipated. So I already have a lot of tools in place, but I had to, instead of taking Mago 7 a couple times per week, I'm taking it like almost every day. I don't know if that's safe. I need to talk to my doctor. I had to bust out Miralax a few times to get things going, but now I'm on a cadence where things are regular, for lack of a better term, but I'm definitely more dehydrated on 10.0. I'm finding myself more thirsty, having to drink more water, really having to pay attention to my hydration, which feeds into the vision problems that I'm having. So when I first talked about having vision issues, it was that my vision was blurry and that my eyes felt like they were burning. And for a while there, I thought that it was an allergy because the first weekend that I took Manjaro was also the weekend of fall that I was out raking leaves. And so I thought, well, maybe I'm just having an allergy or like a fall allergies, because I was out in the yard raking leaves and with grass and dirt flying up. And, my eyes are irritated because I was outside in the yard working on things. So I bought allergy eye drops and took some allergy medication and gave it a few days, and it didn't really improve. And I thought, okay, well, I'll keep an eye on it. I let it go for a couple of weeks, but it got to the point where I was having trouble just reading computer screens, reading books, just my vision in general. I could tell that my ability to see was decreased. And the most concerning thing happened when I sat down on the weekend to watch a show on Netflix and I couldn't read the TV screen. Like I couldn't read because I was looking for something new and I was like, I can't read any of this. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to go see the eye doctor. The good news is that there's nothing permanently wrong. They checked the health of my eye, they checked my actual vision, like they dilated, they looked in the back of the eye, they did all that. My eye is healthy. And in fact, my pressures, because I was having very high pressures due to the diabetes, not like glaucoma range, but the pressures were higher than they should be, sort of thing. Those have all gone down and they're looking much better. So my eyes actually are much healthier than they were before. The big thing that has changed is that I have dry eye. And the doctor was explaining that she is seeing this in a lot of her patients that are on GLP-1 medications, specifically those that are on the higher doses, like I am, because your body becomes dehydrated and your eyes have water and lubricant in them. So when you're dehydrated, that also reflects to your eyes. So I was given the task of drinking even more water, which I'm already drinking a lot of water, so that's a tall task, but mixing in like electrolytes whatever electrolytes, Pedialyte pack, Liquid IV, whatever it is, a Gatorade, whatever it is you drink, mixing in some electrolytes at least once throughout the day, more if you feel like you need it. And then I also have the hydrating eye drops that I have to do 3 to 4 times a day. They're as needed, but you can go up to 4 times per day. And since starting that, I have noticed that my eyes have drastically gotten better. I still have moments, especially at the end of the day. I work on a computer, as most of you guys know. So at the end of the day, when I've been on the computer all day, my eyes will be especially dry and tired, and I'll have to put some eye drops and kind of close my eyes for a bit. But I am noticing a big difference. So, anytime you're dealing with diabetes, which is what my main issue is, right? If your eyes are acting strange, that's the sign that you need to get them checked. There are so many things that can go wrong with diabetics in their eyes. And my mother was diabetic. She actually went blind. She did get glaucoma and she went blind from it. So it is something that scares me because I don't want to lose my eyesight. So I'm grateful that my eyes are healthy, but I would say if you're on Mounjaro or any of the other GLP-1 medications and you start to notice anything with your eyes, you should 100% go see a doctor just to make sure that you are good to go. But keep in mind that apparently this dry eye is a symptom and a lot of people are having it. And actually, when I got online and started looking like on Reddit and Facebook groups and all that, I found out that the dry eye is actually more common than you think it is. There's also a lot of people that talk about vision problems. So I always recommend, as always, that I'm not a doctor, so go consult with your doctor first. But I'm just grateful that my eyes are getting better. Apparently, I don't need to worry about losing my eyesight. I just need to keep them moisturized. But not only that, like I'm just dry. Like I've got dry hands. I get dry mouth, like, I'm very dry on 10.0, so right now I'm just managing symptoms, but I'm not in a hurry to move up because if I'm having this many issues with 10.0, I feel like I need to really get a good handle on it before I would even consider moving up, because the second thing that I'm dealing with is that I am once again stalled out. I am still in a weight loss stall. I have not lost anything additional. I'm bouncing in the 380s. I'll be anywhere from 382 to 388, 89. I have not dipped below 380s, and I have been sitting in the 380s now for months. It's frustrating to me. Now, I will preface this entire conversation by saying that I am not on this medication for weight loss primarily. I'm on it for my diabetes. That's why my doctor originally prescribed it. He prescribed that with the hope that I would get off other diabetic medications and that I would lose weight in the process. And so far, that has been the case. My blood sugar is great. It is down to normal range. I am consistently testing between 80 and 100. I very rarely get any spikes up higher than they should be. I don't have any major lows. Everything is very consistent. 80 to 100 fasting and nothing above like a 115, 120, even if I eat dinner or something. Like it's been fabulous to see the major shift in my blood sugar. And I do feel a lot better just from that being steady and under control. But the weight loss benefit of this medication has pretty much stalled out for me, and I'm not quite sure what's causing that. There's a lot of other things going on, but I'm just frustrated. And it's hard because so many people, as I'm talking through the weight loss journey, they're like, but, it's not all about the scale, it's about overall health. You're too focused on the weight, you're too focused too much on the scale. And look, I understand. I know where you're coming from. I've talked about this in the last video. I get it. But my life is so severely limited by my size. I'm having so many issues that are just recurring and that are affecting my everyday quality of life. For those of you who don't know, I was dealing with rounds and rounds of belly button infections, still am. It has been one infection after another after another. I am not on antibiotics currently. I'm not doing them unless it's a super bad infection because I was on so many antibiotics that I need to simmer down. I have just been dealing with it at home as best as I can. Obviously, if it gets super bad, I will go see the doctor again. The doctor is aware. We're treating it with over the counter products, but it has just been one after another, after another, after another, after another belly button infection. And I am doing all the things. I'm keeping it dry. I'm keeping it clean. I'm putting hydrogen peroxide when it gets really bad. I mean, there's this whole list of like, this is how my doctor wants me to treat it. I'm doing all of those things. And it will clear up for 2, 3, 4, even a week. And the belly button infection comes back. And then we're back to starting over. And then it clears up for 3, 4, 5 days a week. And then it comes back. So, I mean, it's just constant. And I know that getting the belly button removed was an option, but I don't wanna do that right now. I told my sister that I'm actually very much considering when I do my follow-up with the doctor, I'm very much considering just getting the belly button removed, which I really don't wanna do that, but I also cannot live with constant belly button infections. The funny thing is I'm not getting in if you're a big person, you know, I'm not getting infections anywhere else. Like, I'm not getting anything like it's common to get, like, under your boobs, under your fat roll, like, I'm not getting them anywhere else. It's literally the belly button. It's because of where the hernia hangs. So I think that until the hernia is fixed, it's just going to be recurring. It's exhausting to always have an infection. I'm getting really tired of it. Not gonna lie, really tired of it. And I think the hardest part for me with this whole weight loss stall and the never ending belly button infections is just that carrying this much additional weight that your body was not built to handle is exhausting. One of the things that I'm really struggling with right now is my mobility. I have lost 70 pounds, and it's great that I have because that has helped a lot. There are a lot of things I couldn't do 70 pounds ago that I can do now. I am getting around easier than I was before. I am able to now comfortably take showers, and I can get on the floor with the dog. I have to be next to something to pull myself up off of, but I can get on the floor now with the dog. I've been trying to be better about getting down there and getting up because, again, mobility. And I can walk a little bit longer. I don't need a cart through a grocery store anymore. I can walk through the grocery store. Like, there are things I can do now that I couldn't do 70 pounds ago, or that I was losing the ability to do 70 pounds ago. But I still have a lot of problems. And for those of you who don't know, I had slips and falls over the summer. They were stupid slips and falls, but they were slips and falls. And I ended up falling on the same knee. All 3 times I fell. I kid you not, same knee. And that knee has never really healed up. It hurts. There are things torn in it. And unfortunately, until I, lose weight, there's really not much they can do for me with the knee situation or the hernia situation. So basically, I'm just walking around with a painful hernia and a bum knee. So I'm having trouble because the knee is definitely hurting a lot. There are silly things that people don't think about, I think, because they're not in a larger body, but like the height of chairs, for example, if a chair is sitting too low, I can't get up, which I know sounds ridiculous. The chair has to be high enough for me to not be pulling myself up out of the chair, if that makes sense. It's a lot of just really silly things that people don't think about, and because of the bum knee, it's even worse. So, I don't know if I'm explaining this well enough, but just I was hoping I would be down another 10 or 15 pounds by now, and the fact that I'm not is sad, and I just want the scale to move again. Which brings us to the Christmas conversation, because Christmas was a difficult one for me this year. It's pretty customary that every year I go to my sister's house for Christmas. That has been the tradition ever since she got married and moved downstate. And it made the most sense because she had small kids at the time that we started doing this, and we just kind of kept it that way. The only years that we have not done Christmas with my sister were when the weather was bad, when I lived out in Virginia that one year that I was out in Virginia, and then also when dad was alive, if he was too sick to travel, obviously would be here. But most of the time, our tradition is to go to my sister's house for Christmas. I've never really questioned it, but I really debated whether or not I was going this year. Up until about a week ago, I wasn't going to go, but I don't want to miss out on the holidays because I love my sister and I want to be with my family for the holidays. But I thought this was a good example because a lot of people who don't live in larger bodies don't understand how small things that really seem insignificant and were insignificant to me, shoot, 10 years ago, are big deals now. And it's because of where I'm at with my health. So I'm going to give you guys the full scenario so you guys understand and you guys kind of know where I'm coming from. So, my sister has a beautiful house. It's an old house, and like all old houses, they have problems, but she has a beautiful house. It's technically a tri level. I kind of consider it a quad level, which I'll explain why. But when you go into her house, she has two doors, depending on what door. I'm going to, like, you're going in her front door. So, if you're going in her front door, You walk into a beautiful sitting area with her dining room and kitchen, and then you go up a set of stairs to bedrooms and a bathroom. You can go down a set of stairs, which takes you to the family room and another bathroom and the laundry room. And then if you go down yet another set of stairs, that takes you to her garage. And she has a fabulous storage area in her garage that used to be like a cistern, but now it's just storage. And like I said, it is a very big, beautiful house. It was fabulous when she was raising kids because there's a lot of space for the kids to spread out, have friends over, to be rowdy, and you weren't really disturbing anybody. And she has a really good sized yard. She does live on a hill, hence it being like a tri slash quad level house. But the front yard is somewhat flat. It has a little bit of a tilt to it, and the backyard is basically a big hill. And it's a very nice house, but as you can already tell from the description, it is a lot of stairs. And for someone who is 380-ish something pounds and has a bum knee, a hernia, and a lot of health issues, those stairs are difficult. I usually try to relegate myself to basically one level of the home while I'm there so that I'm not having to take the stairs quite as often. But I also have Rudy, which means I do have to take him out to go to the bathroom, right? And as I mentioned, her yard is basically a hill in the back, and I usually take him to the front, which is less of a hill. It's on a slant, but it's bumpy and lumpy, and it's December. So we have the potential of either having snow, rain, mud, maybe all of the above. So there I am out in the cold with all of the weather elements with my dog with a bum knee. So in the last year or so, I have done less visits to her house than I've ever done the entire time she's lived down there. I'm usually at my sister's house all the time. Like, it's kind of a running joke that we see each other 2 times a month because she would come see me and then I would go see her. But she's done more of seeing me in the last year because I have trouble with my mobility. Part 2 of that is she doesn't have a guest room, and she never has had a guest room. She doesn't have the space for it. That she has kids, the house, she doesn't have a guest room. Not a big deal. It never has been a big deal. When I was younger, I used to sleep on her couch. And then I gained weight and I was too fat for the couch. So now I sleep in a recliner. So people are like, why don't you get an air mattress? All this stuff. Well, a couple things people don't think about. Number one, finding an air mattress that holds someone of my size is difficult. A lot of times it'll have on the thing that it holds 500 pounds, but when you actually lay on it, it does not hold 500 pounds. And so it ends up deflating halfway through the night. Part 2 of that is because I'm limited mobility, I have trouble getting off of the low spaces, like I said with the chair. So even if you get an elevated air mattress, they usually are not high enough for me to get off the air mattress. So an air mattress just isn't an option. But a couch also isn't an option because I'm too fat for the couch. And I can't lay on my side on the couch because I have a hernia. And when you lay on your side, the hernia pops out. In fact, I sleep on my back all the time because if I lay on my side at any point in time, the hernia pops out and it's extremely painful. So I have to lay basically flat on my back. And believe it or not, laying down at night is the most relief I get all day because it's the one point in time where my hernia fully pops in and I actually have no pain when I'm laying flat. Like, the pain is gone. So I just kind of lay there, enjoy the no pain, and I drift off to sleep. And it's the one moment of the day where I have relief from the hernia pain. So I sleep in a recliner at her house, but recliners recline. They don't lay flat, which means I don't get relief from the hernia pain while I'm there. So basically what happens is between the stairs, the walking the dog, the not getting hernia relief pain and having to sleep in a recliner, I don't sleep and I'm in pain. By the time I leave her house, I am essentially living on ibuprofen to get home so that I can actually get relief from pain. I have never really had that conversation with her because it's not her fault and she can't fix it. This is me. I'm the fat person. I'm sorry to say that to myself, but I am the problem here. And it is not her job to change her life to accommodate me. So I just stopped visiting. I was trying to figure out, how am I going to get out of Christmas without hurting her feelings? But I've decided that I'm just going to pack ibuprofen and go down for 2 nights because I don't really want to miss time with family. Part 2 of that is because I had a friend who at one point who was like, "Well, just get a hotel room." Well, she lives in a small town. Hotel rooms down there, because they're so limited, they're not cheap. So it's anywhere, depending on where you're going, 120 to $150. Sometimes some of them are up to 170. There is not very many choices down there that would be convenient, and there are no pet-friendly hotels that I could find in the area. So I could not take Rudy, which means I would have to board him. Most boarding is full for the holidays. And if I were to find boarding, it's about $100 a night. So if you do the math on that, usually I can get to my sister's house on a tank of gas. That's why we see each other so often, because she could do the same with me. It's a tank of gas. Like, fill your car up with gas, you can get to me, get back, you're out one tank of gas. We spend so much time with each other because of that. But if I were to do that every time I went to visit her, I mean, think about it, just for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, 2 nights for coming down to her, it would be $500, maybe a little more depending on the hotel room I book, plus gas. And good luck finding boarding at this point for the dog. I can't afford it. I don't have the money for that. And so, yeah, that's the situation. And I've had people say you have really become homebound and you are trapping yourself in your house and you don't go out and do things. But this is why, because this is just one example. This is one example. And when you're navigating the world in a large body with major health issues, you're more of a burden in situations than you are a help. Like, I can't walk long distances. I can't go to the movies unless it's one of the fancy ones that have the big fancy chairs, because I can't fit in the seats. I can't go to concerts because I can't fit in the seats. I can't There are so many things I can't do because I don't fit in the world anymore. The mental math and the planning ahead sometimes just isn't worth it. So that is why the weight is such a big deal to me. And I'm trying not to let it be, because there's only so much you can control. But I have got to get the scale moving again, because none of the stuff that is hurting me, I cannot fix the hernia or the knee until I lose the weight. I don't know. I guess my question to all of you, I don't have like a neat bow to wrap this up in. If you are also a person who went on a major weight loss journey, maybe you're further along the journey than me, and you hit one of these weight loss stalls or plateaus, as they call them. What did you do to get past it? Like, what did you have to change? Because I'm willing to make the change. I just can't figure out what the change needs to be. How did you get the scale to move again? Or did it just happen one day for you? Health is a really complicated journey, and I'm trying so hard to stay positive along the way. There's been so many good things that have happened to me, and I do overall feel better. It feels really nice to not wake up every day with a headache. It feels really nice to actually be sleeping because I have a CPAP machine and I'm actually sleeping and not, going through apneas in the middle of the night. It's really nice to have my blood pressure under control and not spiking all the time. It is really nice to just overall feel better, but it's those lingering issues and the fact that I'm still so large that just make life difficult. And I really wish there was some kind of magic. I could snap my fingers and just have be all past this and be in a healthy body. But that's not how it goes. And so I'm just trying to navigate this the best I can. So, anyways, how are you doing? How's life? What are you dealing with right now? Where are you at in your journey? What can I answer questions for you guys? And what are you doing for Christmas, if you celebrate? And if you don't celebrate, what are you doing for the holiday season? That's all I got. Okay, bye.